Good evening, good morning. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. It's 4 a.m. Um, y'all shut my social media down. Y'all shut my Twitter down. Y'all shut my Facebook down. Because I said I'm going through social media for social change. I don't need a million people to march. I need a million people to pay attention. Now in Baltimore, I came here straight out the penitentiary in 1991. Richard Sherr did the first story on me on Hard Look. And I talked about the war on drugs, me raising my family if I'm locked up. Richard Sherr did the first story on me. Uh, Senator Kelly's wife supported this movie and this documentary that I'm making about Baltimore. I came here out the penitentiary on the Interstate Compact, and it was about the war on drugs. I came here from Chicago, Illinois Department of Corrections. I was out like 3 months. I came here with nothing. I worked for the asbestos and lead companies. And while I was working for those asbestos and lead companies, I started seeing the corruption in the graft and the play-to-play politics here. I left Chicago because of the corruption under Mayor Daley's administration, Robert Sabange's administration. So I know corruption when I see it. I was around when Harold Washington was doing his door knocking and building his machine. And I was there when Harold Washington died. I was there during Operation Greylord in 1986 when they arrested judges and lawyers and politicians for corruption. So I came from Chicago and I thought that if the law works in Chicago, it should work here. Y'all don't do nothing to y'all's corrupt officials. Y'all reward bad behavior. Larry Young know me real good. Larry Young can't stand me because I called Larry Young out. Larry Young got put out because of his corruption, and y'all rewarded him with a radio station. Now y'all say the white people did it. Some of y'all black people did it too. Now Nathaniel Oates got jammed up. Y'all did Nathaniel Oates the same way. Y'all turned your backs on Nathaniel Oates. Dixon got jammed up. Y'all patted on the back and smacked on the hand, and y'all gave her back her job and her ability to have a job. You didn't send her to jail. Pew got jammed up. Y'all ain't even talked about no criminal charges. Y'all just took her mayorship from her and let her sit her ass over in the corner like a little scalded dog. Y'all ain't charged Pew with no criminal crimes yet, but y'all didn't have a problem charging me with terrorism when I went to blow the whistle on y'all. I blew the whistle on y'all's black politicians. I named you. I named them, the judges, the lawyers, the elected officials. I named you. Teller Branch. I named y'all. Because what y'all do down in Annapolis is y'all do whatever them white people tell y'all to do. Racism don't work without black cooperation. And just like Martin Luther King wrote letters from a Birmingham jail, I got 2 jailhouse diaries to show you Elijah Cummings, Larry Young, Kathleen Hughes from Radio 1. I show you how black people is protecting white supremacy, how they kiss Bill Clinton's ass. Y'all got a problem with anything I say, take me to court. Y'all already took me to court, and y'all can't beat me in court. You feel me? If you could do something to me, you'd have did it by now, but you can't. All my paperwork is in various places. In the event of y'all put that gun to my head like y'all did the Suitor, some of y'all going to jail. I put this in the Inspector General's office 2 days ago. Tom Wydell from Fox 45 know about it. Y'all ain't went and investigated nothing. Brandon Scott works for Governor O'Malley. Tony Bridges works for Governor O'Malley. You got a whole host of black people working for Governor O'Malley claiming to be black leadership in Baltimore, and they're not. They puppets. They overseers on a plantation. Y'all killed the Suitor. Y'all murdered the Suitor because y'all cleaning up loose ends. Y'all didn't do no forensic testing on none of the Suitor's people, on none of the police. Man didn't shoot himself, and y'all going along with it. And y'all brung Harrison in to put a rubber stamp on shit. Harrison ain't no different than Batts. He ain't no different than Belfield. He ain't no different than Ed Norris. He just a rubber stamp on their department. Harrison ain't gonna go after Harrison is not gonna prosecute no white people, no white criminals. He ain't going after no, he ain't going after them. He ain't going after no political. And the reason they not is because Jill P. Carter wrote Senate Bill 374. Jill P. Carter, Judge Holland, Lisa Gladden, the Maryland Black Caucus signed off on that. By you signing off on that, that means that Tawanda Jones can't take her case to the grand jury. That means that she'll never get justice. And Marilyn Mosby gonna block that. That means that Keith Davis will never get justice because they can't take the evidence to the grand jury to prove his innocence. Y'all holding Keith Davis illegally. He'll win his case on appeal because of the corruption in your courts. We need cameras in the courtroom so we can start putting them cameras on them judges and them lawyers, and we can show you the corruption in Baltimore. You put them cameras in the courtroom, a lot of this corruption is cut down. You want to end the violence and the war on drugs. Warren Brown, Dwight Pettit, J. Wendell Gordon, Ivan Bates, Pastor Todd Yeary. I gave y'all all this information exposing these black people, but because y'all black, y'all want to protect their blackness. No. We're going to clean house. Due process and equal protections. We're getting ready to file a class action lawsuit. I'm going to start putting out the information so anybody that was arrested in Baltimore City and Baltimore County by Scott Shellenberger and prosecuted by Scott Shellenberger, if you're a Baltimore City resident and you went out in Baltimore County and got locked up, we're going to file a class action lawsuit for the illegal incarceration and abuses of power by Scott Shellenberger. Y'all think that them cases about Marilyn Mosby and them 800 cases with the gun task force? No, that's racketeering and fraud. The judges knew about the gun task force. Governor O'Malley knew about the gun task force. Belfield knew about the gun task force. Ed Norris knew about the task force. Harrison knew about the task force. TJ Smith know everything. TJ Smith is going to be your weakest link. He's the new DeRay McKenzie. Y'all hailing TJ Smith up as this, and this. TJ Smith came in with Commissioner Davis from Anne Arundel County. So they use his black face in Anne Arundel County to pass white shit. TJ Smith went from Davis to Batts to Oleski. Now he running for office. So where did TJ Smith get his money? They rewarding TJ Smith to put him in the race to dilute the voting power. Larry Young know this. When I call in the Larry Young show, they hang up on me. They banned me from Larry Young's show because I'm going to call y'all out. I came to Larry Young when they started this, me, David Wiggins, Larry and Linda Tees. I called Larry Young out in the room, and I told him I was a black Republican and we wanted to send the Democratic Party to jail. Larry Young is part of that corruption. You got mainstream media. You got to have media to control the narrative, to control the conversation. And y'all control the narrative and the conversation, and y'all demonize Black Baltimore. Larry Young, TV One, Roland Martin. Roland Martin knew about this when I started this. And Roland Martin, all he do is get paid to run his fat ass mouth. Same thing with fat ass Larry Young. Because when I show up in public, and I might check that shit, you see me at New Shiloh Baptist Church when they brung Michael Steele and Al Sharpton and those individuals to make this plan for Black Baltimore. No, they making a plan to sell out Black Baltimore. Al Sharpton, Larry Young, TV One are not the voice and the face of the black community. They are the people selling out the black community, claiming to be that voice. How is Radio One and TV One claiming to save Baltimore when you still playing trap music? You telling niggas to get out there and get money. So when they go out there and get money, they do them wild and crazy things. Ooh, they shouldn't do that. But you playing the music to make them do that. You're responsible for you play a role in the demise in Baltimore. TV One, Kathleen Hughes. And I'm calling you out. Because see, I did parties with you, Kathleen Hughes, at your house with Marion Barry. I catered for Franksky. Tim Watts know me. So anything I'm saying, I'm telling you the truth. You turned your back on me and you left me in jail for them white people to pick over my bones. I shook them white people off and I beat them because, like I said, I don't need them. Let welfare feed them. So when I started shitting on TV One, when I started shitting on Radio One, when I started shitting on Larry Young, man, you go to jail. I went to jail. They rewarded Larry Young with a radio show. They rewarded me with homelessness. And I'm still doing what I do. I don't have the resources that most people got, but I'm still leading my struggle. Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle get a lot of money from the Able Foundation. Able Foundation got a lot of money involved in the prison industry. Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle ain't open their mouth up about ending the war on drugs. Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle ain't open their mouth up about mass incarceration in the prison industry. Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle is soft fucking y'all, because they ain't leading you enough but chasing your tail. They go to Annapolis every year, do the same shit, write new laws and whatever. We got laws in the books to protect Black Baltimore, and I don't see you going down there to lead us to get our freedom. Harriet Tubman came out. I've been doing the underground since 1997 because I was rewriting Harriet Tubman's Underground, because we still slaves in America. We traded the penitentiary for the plantation, cotton for cocaine, and we still a cash crop. Ain't nothing I said was a lie. Ain't nothing but the truth. And the truth hurt. So when y'all running for office, assign Giordano, and y'all do these interviews, tell them about the corruption. Call out these racist motherfuckers. Call out these sellout motherfuckers. Because you don't call them out, I will. Brandon Scott works for Governor O'Malley. Jack Young works for the money in Baltimore. Don't nobody in this race that I know care about Black Baltimore. They care about the green money they're going to make in that seat and the connections they make. You ain't heard nothing from Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake since she got out of office. She been quiet as a church mouse because they kicking her that money. They kicking her that money. And they still paying Pew to shut up. I want a federal investigation. I want the Inspector General to investigate my claims, Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Governor Hogan been blocking this. Brian Frost been blocking this. Marilyn Mosby been blocking this. As a private citizen under Senate Bill 374, I'm supposed to access the grand jury. Y'all kidnapped me. You stole my intellectual property. So you made this situation. Just like the Khalif Browder story. I was doing this about your prison industry. I was showing the judges, the lawyers that do this. I'm going to show your money tied to the prison industry, and we're going to take it. I'm going to take what belongs to me. It's election year, 2020. Every time you have an open debate, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask Mary Washington, how come she didn't give me access to the grand jury yet? She promised me, and I got her on film. Jill P. Carter said it, got him on film. Sandy Rosenstein, got you on film. Tony Bridges, got you on film. Governor O'Malley, got you on film. Greg Bernstein, got you on film. Marilyn Mosby, got you on film. I got everything back that y'all took from me. I had to reshoot it. Now all I need is somebody to produce it, put it out there on the internet. And if I don't get nobody to buy it, I'm just going to continue to do this on social media for social change. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Y'all banned my post because I was getting 20,000 hits. Y'all trying to keep my post under 100. I don't need 1 million people to march. I need 1 million people to pay attention. Social media for social change. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. I have a social presence, and you can't stop that. So every day, I'm going to get on here, and I'm going to say what I got to say. And then you can follow Freedom of Information. Go to Marilyn Mosby's office. Go to Greg Bernstein's office. Go to Mayor Stephanie Rawlins Blake. Get all the material I sent them, because that was evidence. It's called entrapment. I gave y'all evidence and you got knowledge and you took an oath of office. And if you see something, you're supposed to say something. But y'all ain't saying shit about the corruption. Y'all ain't saying shit about the racism. But you want us to say something about the war on drugs. You want us to turn JoJo in. No, I want to turn Mosby in. I want to turn Nick Mosby in. If Congressman Jackson and his wife can go to jail, so can Marilyn Mosby and Nick Mosby. Conspiracy to deny people their civil and constitutional rights is against the law. I named 52 judges, lawyers, and politicians that participated in fraud, that participated in my illegal incarceration in Illinois and in Maryland. Sarbanes, Cummings, Mikulski, Cardins, Van Hollen. Y'all said that y'all would do something about it. This 13 years and y'all ain't opened your mouth. Y'all going after President Trump for the same thing that I'm going after you for. I'm a whistleblower. Lester Holt, Gayle King. What y'all gonna do if they kill me? Then you're gonna talk about, oh, America did a tragedy to a black man. Don't wait till they kill me like they killed Martin and Malcolm. Run this story now. Tell the truth now. Because if, like I said, every day, I'm doing this every day. I'm gonna send it to Ukraine. I'm gonna send it to Russia. I'm gonna send it to China. I'm gonna send it to media outside of America because this is a story that needs to be told. Just like Harriet Tubman. I'd free a lot more people if you knew you was a slave. Just like Harriet Tubman. I'm coming back to get more people free. Scott Shellenberger got 10,000 cases that are going to be reversed and remanded. And the only reason they won't be reversed and remanded is because the Department of Justice, Brian Frost, and Governor O'Malley are shielding that corruption. Commissioner Harrison is shielding that. Chief Hyatt is shielding that. Johnny Oleski asked for a federal investigation in February. I'm the subject of the investigation. That makes me a whistleblower. And you ain't did nothing about it yet. A man with nothing to lose has everything to gain, and I ain't got nothing to lose. I've been to jail. Now it's time for Larry Young to go to jail. Your FCC license needs to be revoked and taken. And I'm going to make sure the FCC gets all of this. Because everything that I send the Inspector General goes to the FCC. So Jane Miller, all those prestigious awards that you got, they're going to take them. Like they took OJ's trophies. They're going to take your trophies. Like they took OJ's Heisman. They're going to take Jane Miller's awards. All of Jane Miller's awards ain't going to mean shit when this movie come out. Because like I said, this is Baltimore rewired. Jane Miller, Barry Sims, Mike Shue, Adam May. Adam May did an 1.5-hour interview on me in Spring Grove. You need to play that whole 1.5-hour interview. You play that whole 1.5-hour interview in front of a grand jury, Shellenberger going to jail. Shellenberger not only lied to the grand jury and presented false evidence to the grand jury. So this is my bone that I'm picking. No, this is the meat I'm putting on the plate. If you are a Baltimore City resident or Baltimore County resident and you go to court and they lock you up, ask to access the grand jury. Ask to talk to the grand jury when they bring you up on indictment. It's your right. Your public defender ain't gonna tell you that. It's your right. It's due process and equal protection. If they go to the grand jury with an indictment, you got a right to go to the grand jury and dispute the charges. It's your right. If you went to the grand jury the same time they went to the grand jury, you would beat your case. It's a 50% chance that you beat your case. Because they can't prove the burden of the charge. You know what I'm saying? Todd, you already know what I'm talking about, don't you, Todd? Ivan Bass know what I'm talking about, don't you, Ivan? Warren Brown knows what I'm talking about. I gave J. Wendell Gordon the letter from President Obama asking for an investigation into my incarceration during the Trayvon Martin incident, when Trayvon Martin got murdered and we was at the City Hall. I gave Warren Brown this information. I gave Fox 45 this information years ago. Baltimore Sun had it from the beginning. And I put a video up with Starbucks showing you that they had it. I came to him and gave him all this information day one. You feel me? It ain't nothing that you can do to tell me that I'm a liar. In the war on drugs, you'll stop the violence in Baltimore. You're going to continue the violence because the war feeds the violence. The war on drugs is the root of the violence. In the war on drugs, the violence will slow down or stop. Same way that the violence stopped when you ended prohibition. Now you got Shorty. Now you got drug houses on the corner, which is legal marijuana houses, but you still locking us up for weed. Here goes one for you. Let's drug test everybody in City Hall. Whoever fails the drug test got to lose their job. Then you're going to see how much drugs is in City Hall. Ask Kwame Rose to take a drug test. Start having y'all tight ass niggas put pissing in cups. Gonna see who smoke weed. See how many people smoke weed. See how many white people smoke weed. Then they start losing their job. Y'all ain't gonna do that. Do it in Baltimore City and Baltimore County, and your courthouses will collapse. Because a lot of your clerks smoke weed. A lot of your police officers smoke weed. Yeah. Recreational drugs. So you want to have an honest conversation in 2020? Give us access to the grand jury. 2020, we're going to try to file a class action lawsuit. Anybody that was locked up behind the war on drugs, we're going to start filing class action lawsuits to end the war on drugs. That's my mission, and it's not impossible. Do what you got to do. Anything I said about anybody, I say it to their face. 2020, when I come to your events, I'm going to say it to your face, and I'm going to put it on film. We're going to live feed this shit. You won't be stealing my property this time. Live, late breaking, in your face. I like to fight bullies. I'll see you in the morning. Anything I got to say? Holler at me. I'm at the Corinthians every Sunday. Saturday, I'm doing a light show down at Sinclair for Letitia Higgs. All right? Starbucks on the 21st of December. We're doing a mic night at Starbucks. Starbucks and Shorty. Shorty and Starbucks. However you want to frame it, we're going to start at Starbucks. I'm going to build a toilet, and I'm going to start telling the truth about Baltimore at Starbucks. First thing in the morning, have a cup of coffee and Shorty. First thing in the morning, Starbucks and Shorty. Hassan Giordano been to Starbucks. Gary Collins want to go to Starbucks. But we're going to talk about the politics, because I've been in the politics for a long time. TV One, Radio One, Kathleen Hughes, Larry Young, never bite the hand that feeds you. And I fed Baltimore when Franksky was here. I did parties for y'all. Yeah. Pool parties. Worked for Antonio Freeman. I worked for Nelly when Nelly's album first came out. D. Hell Hughley know me. He called me a little black briquette when we was on St. Paul Street. I know all about Baltimore. That's what's going to make this movie and this story so interesting. Sex, lies, and videotapes. Scandalous. House of Cards. All of that rolled up in one. And ain't nothing that you can do to stop it. Killing me is no longer an option. Killing me is going to make me immortal. It's going to make the story so much better. And it's going to make my kids rich. So you between a rock and a hard place, the mud and the dirt. You got to take this ass whooping. Take it for what it's worth. Ain't no stick up without a gun. Click, aim, and shoot. Put it on rewind 1,000 times. It's my season. I'm living in faith and enjoying that favor. Pray for my enemies, because I'm good with my God.